Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? Right now in Iraq, the major news is the exchange rate of the Iraqi Dinar. Or I should say, what the markets are determining is the value of the IQD versus the US dollar. The IQD continues to lose value against the US dollar, and there's a couple reasons why we've discussed over the last few videos. I said that I've been paying attention to the US dollar, which is being artificially pumped up, and that it appeared it was being used as a weapon to crush a lot of other currencies around the world, and it's successfully doing that. My theory behind that was inevitably the dollar is going to crash, and if they could take out as many currencies as possible, well, then that means there's less of a fight for them to try to regain the top spot when the time comes. We know that they were artificially pumping up the economy and giving us all kinds of bogus data, mostly because of midterms. They were just lying. I love how Biden's running around bragging about his job numbers. What jobs has he created? Everything about his administration is a lie. The only thing that's happened is the people are returning back to the 10 million jobs that Trump created before the coronavirus struck. So it's not like he's actually creating any jobs, and I know that's what the Democrats like to do, take credit for other people's work. It's not surprising at all. What they should do is take a look at the job participation rate and the unemployment numbers before the coronavirus, and then anything after that, Biden would get credit for. But that's not going to happen. But that's just an example of one of the things they try to use to run out there and hoorah people about how great the Biden administration is doing. They know most people won't even go look up the information. They know most people don't even know what to look for. They don't care. They just rather lie to you. So there's a problem. The dollar is gaining strength. Although if you look over the past 3 months, that's not the case. And we'll look at that here in a moment. But in country, the IQD is struggling against the US dollar. This is why we saw some banks go ahead and start allowing the Iraqi citizens to purchase dollars, which is unusual because you don't want a second currency competing with your currency in your country. But I think I know what it is that Iraq's trying to do. They're trying to purchase as many of the Iraqi dinars as possible to destroy them. You have less currency in circulation. Again, think supply demand. The less you have of something that people want, the more demand there is for it, the more valuable it becomes. That's the problem with the US dollar. They just keep printing more and more of them. So how is it that it's so strong? So let's get back in Iraq to figure out what's going on and talk about how it is it affects our investment. Before we get started, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. And if you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. If you're thinking about buying gold and silver, head on over to our friends at Money Metals Exchange. The link will be down below in the description. If you are a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy Silver. Yes, it has changed. PIMPY-SILVER. So if you're watching this video and it's an older video, make sure you check on current videos because the code is going to be changing from time to time from now on. Also, I can be found on other platforms. Everybody knows I have my own website, Pimpy's News Network. Over here, I post videos that I can't get away with over on YouTube. Also, I have a group on Facebook called Pimpy's Investment Chat. Over here, we do talk about gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. Come on over here and join us. It's free to do so. You can also come follow me on Twitter, MeWe, YouTube, and Odyssey. The links for all these platforms will be down below in the description. So for whatever reason, if I get removed off of one platform, you could find me on the others. So as I was stating, seriously, over the past couple of weeks, we've seen several articles about the fact that the dollar is gaining on the Iraqi dinar. You could just look over the last couple of days. You can see right here an article about the exchange rate. Here's another one. Everybody's concerned about the continuous rise of the dollar exchange rate. Another one. U.S. pressure to prevent dollar smuggling and party banks shut down. The central bank stops working to collect taxes in advance to deal with the rise in exchange rate. A disturbing statement by an economist about the date of the decline in the dollar. I don't know what's so disturbing about this. The date of the decline in the dollar prices? Well, this person's predicting that the dollar will not decline for 2 more years. I'm really struggling with that. I don't know how we got through 2022 as smoothly as we have. Now, don't get me wrong, the stock market has lost, I think, 33% of its value. We know cryptocurrency has lost as much as 70% of its value. Gold and silver started to lose about 10% of their value, but have regained most all of it. So these markets are manipulated, but eventually they're going to break out. There's too many bubbles. A bond bubble, real estate bubble, there was a crypto bubble, a tech bubble, a housing bubble. I can't help but think that whatever's going on with this World Economic Forum's Great Reset, it's not going as smooth as they had anticipated, because I'm starting to see a little bit of backtracking take place. But some of these things have already been set into motion. Trying to fix them midstream could blow up in their face. Screwing around with different currencies around the world, especially the US dollar, definitely is a major issue. So although we are coming out of 2022 pretty decent looking, we still have double-digit inflation despite what it is the government's telling you. We still have huge unemployment numbers despite what it is this administration is lying to you about. People should pay attention mostly to the job participation rate. I showed everybody an article called the shadow government stats, in which they keep the real numbers and not the ones that people lie about. And it showed that we had inflation closer to 18%, not 8.5%. So here's this disturbing message. In a statement to the news, Nori pointed out the dollar exchange rate continues to rise for more than a month, explaining that the reasons for that, too, the control measures followed by the United States Treasury with this tightening of control over financial transfers. Here we have the United States screwing with other countries' economies because of the types of sanctions, restrictions, or a change in the mechanisms of transfers, and it's affecting countries everywhere. This is why we're seeing a lot of people trying to find alternative mechanisms to do bank transfers and to find ways around these sanctions that the United States imposes on people. It's stupid little crap like this. He added the central bank reduced its sales with the exclusion of banks. And the plan and intention is to keep the exchange rate within these rates until a month from now. And it will return to its previous rate, which is good. Because right now, I think you're getting, what is it saying? 1,570 dinars for every dollar on the market, which according to them is a new record. But they're saying it should come back to where it was at 1,465 dinars for every dollar in about a month. Nori continued to ask for the price with regards to the federal budget. They will remain for 2 years from now with the same prices. In other words, they're not going to have any change to the exchange rate within the next 2 years. If you remember, I think it was actually a little bit more than a year ago. I think I said 2 years ago, but it's about a year ago. They said they're going to keep this exchange rate for the next 5 years. And people are like, man, it's not going to happen, Pimpy. Man, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm not the one saying it. They are. I'm the one saying at the rate in which the economy was growing and the sale of the oil, and it looked like Iraq was getting on track and they were doing everything possible to get back out on the international scene, that it wouldn't take 5 years. It might happen quicker, and that it'll start going up in increments. But again, in articles, they're trying to tell people the exchange rate's not going to change over the next couple of years. Now, does that mean that something won't happen to cause that to happen earlier than later? Of course, anything is possible, but this is what they're saying for now. It said it is noteworthy that Iraq has witnessed a few days ago a rise in the exchange rate of the dollar against the dinar, as it recorded today, Monday, a record level reaching 1,576 dinars for every dollar. The Central Bank of Iraq decided on the 15th of this month to reduce the exchange rate of the dollar to 1,465 dinars. And he indicated that the reduction in the selling price of the dollar to the beneficiary, the bank's customers, who finances its imports with documentary credits, to be 1,465 dinars instead of 1,470. So I don't know so much if that's a disturbing statement. What's so disturbing about it? They've been talking about these things now for quite some time. Look, Al-Qademi had a great plan. He had a white papers. He was implementing it. When al-Sadini got in there, I thought for sure they're just going to tear up those white papers and go right back to the corruption we had before. And it doesn't look like that's happening. It looks like al-Sadini, if anything, is following the groundwork laid out by Al-Qademi. So it's going to be one article after another. This one, though, we talked about a couple years ago. And that is a Al-Fal Grand Port project. Just so people are aware we're talking about, it's this one here. Iraq's Al-Fal port to become the largest in the Middle East. Remember, I told you China was eyeballing Iraq, and so was the United States, because they would be the gateway to the Middle East. And now this port that they're building is going to be the biggest over there in that territory. And once it's fully completed, there's going to be a ton of money being made in these ports for Iraq. So the Grand Port of Al-Fal, a major project in Iraq, originally announced in 2010. And if I'm not mistaken, there was a bunch of reasons why it stalled. But once Al-Qademi got into office, he started it back up again real quick. It has completed the first stage with the construction of 5 main piers, setting the stage for it to become the Middle East's biggest port when completed. So when I tell you guys it's not a bad investment when it comes to Iraqi Dinar, the thing is we have got a lot of continuous pain to go through until all these ducks fall in a row. So no, the Iraqi Dinar is not a scam. There are just people out there who are scamming you, blowing opium up your butt. Yeah, the back numbers, man, we're going to have a great Christmas. Yeah, get ready for the redemption centers. Guys, for those of you who are new to this, you're going to hear that over and over. And after a couple years of it, you're going to be like, good Lord, they're still saying that. Yep, they've been saying it for 15, 16, 18, 20 years. They'll continue to say it as long as people are out there listening to them, okay? So this is a big project. So they are putting right here, by 2028, it will be able to move about 36 million tons of containerized freight. So that's really good. But I think it's going to be in full swing in 2038. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to take that long until something happens to the dinar. If anything, 2028 is more realistic. I'm just kidding. Look at right now, everybody's like, what? Oh, my God. No, I'm just teasing. That's when the port should be fully operational. And they have a lot of plans for it. Now, again, this is barring Iran blowing it up because they're jealous or pissed off at Iraq. Or, ISIS coming along, or Al-Qaeda coming along, or any other ADAs coming along and blowing it up. Just doing what they want to do to keep it real unstable there in the country. Getting this port open and getting the power grid fully operational are two of the biggest things that could be major, major steps for Iraq. And you want to talk about an appreciation in the currency, things would really take off then because you would have a lot of outside investors coming in to work in Iraq and to open up businesses there, which provide jobs, takes people off of government aid, puts them out there so they can start paying taxes. You see how that works. So yeah, this is big. It says it will result in a quantum leap in the Iraqi economy. I'm surprised there hasn't been a video out there going, see, look at this is quantum leap, because it has to do with the QFS system. So you can see al-Sadini, he stressed the importance of this project from a strategical point of view for Iraq and the region, and that his visit confirms the status of the port and its completion at the top of the government program's priority. So this man is doing what it takes to make sure that that sucker gets rocking and rolling and completed as quickly as possible. As we continue up, you can see there's more articles, people worried about the currency exchange. Here's what I'm talking about. You can see the dollar index is at 104.31. But if you just look over the last 90 days, the dollar has been on a decline. Now, they could pull out all the little tricks that they want to try to keep this currency afloat, and I think that's all they're trying to do. Here's what we got to keep in mind. The first quarter of 2023, you're going to see mass layoffs from banks. Tons of them. Either that's one of their first steps they're taking to go ahead and move us into the central bank digital currency. All I know is Goldman Sachs talking about laying off 4,000 people alone. Okay, so there's tech companies laying off people. You look at Twitter laying off people. So people are getting laid off now. So much for Biden's job numbers. We'll see what happens after the first quarter of this next year when everybody is finally anticipating our economic crash here in the United States. So make sure you have your gold and silver. And I've been preaching that now for the longest time. This index isn't going to stay that high. So whether this is the planned event and they're going to make their move to push us into the central bank digital currency, or as I stated, it's too late for them to kind of put the cat back in the bag, and some things are out of their control. And that's why we're seeing so much panic again on the whole coronavirus thing, making sure you guys got to wear your mask, all that kind of panic all over. So the excuse for a crashed economy is going to be, well, we had to deal with the RONA all over again. That's just going to be their excuse. And you got Biden running around bragging about how the gas prices come down $1 something, and we should be grateful for that. But it's still over $1 higher than when he inherited it. There's nothing worse than a guy who inherits gas when the gas price was around $1.85. Well, I think nationwide it was $2.35 on average. And then it got it up above $5, and it brought it down to $3 and goes, see, I'm cut the gas prices down. No, you didn't. Now, here's where all hell's going to break loose. You see, that idiot Biden, what he did was he used up all of our emergency oil reserves. Yep, just so he could bring the price down. You don't have that as a tool anymore. And that's why he's been over there making demands about getting oil from other countries at a much cheaper price, or for them to increase the production of oil. And the OPEC people are like, yeah, nope, not going to happen. You want to run around and preach to everybody how we need to go green? Well, maybe you're going to get there a little bit quicker than you anticipated. So just go ahead and do the math. 1 and 1 is 2. And what that means is 2023 is going to be a bad year. All right. So hopefully you guys have been stocking up on your gold and silver. Anyways, that's it for now. That's what's happening in Iraq. They're struggling with the rise in the dollar versus the IQD. Should people panic? No, I wouldn't panic. I'm sure people hear this and they don't like the news, and I don't blame you. But there's no reason to panic. Not at all. In a short time, you're going to see the IQD start to rebound against the dollar as our economy starts to crash. Anyways, that's it for now. You guys let me know what you think. I'll look forward to your comments, and I will get back at you later. I'm out.